In today's podcast episode, I sit down with Suzanne Scurlock, founder of Healing from the Core, a craniosacral therapist and educator. And what unfolds is a conversation every pelvic health therapist needs to hear. Because clinical mastery, it's not about what you've been taught. It's not about doing more. It's not about working harder. Tune in to hear what it's really all about. This is the kind of conversation that stays with you and shifts how you show up the very next time you're with a client. Go beyond techniques and gain a deeper connection to yourself, to your work, and the people you're meant to truly serve. Listen in. Hello, friends. This is Lynn Schulte, and you are listening to the Birth Healing Summit podcast. We are here for meaningful conversations that will transform the way you work with pregnant and postpartum clients. Whether it is a new perspective, tool, or technique, you'll be able to implement it into your practice today. I invite you to sit back, listen with an open mind, and grab the golden nugget today's guest has to offer. Now let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this podcast episode. Today, I'm excited to welcome back to the podcast Suzanne Scurlock. She's been on several times, and Suzanne is a craniosacral therapist. She is the founder of Healing from the Core, and she is an amazing human being. And I'm so grateful that she is also going to be a part of the Birth Healing Summit this year. So, welcome to the podcast, Suzanne. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, actually. Yes.
All right. Well, I am very curious because I am talking with all the speakers, doing a little podcast series on clinical mastery. And so what does clinical mastery mean for you?
Okay. So it's interesting because I was counting up my years in craniosacral
Yeah.
practice and in teaching. So in practice has been 43 years, teaching
Wow.
has been 40 years. So
Wow.
I have just a few years under my belt
Yeah.
of noticing, of really noticing what takes the therapist that I'm teaching, for instance, in craniosacral classes and healing from the core classes, what what differentiates someone who has learned a lot of skills and
Hmm.
has a wide array of expertise in different areas with someone who truly has mastered what they do and who they are?
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that I've seen that is most important is that when we've mastered something, there's a level of ease in our body so that our presence shows up
Yeah.
naturally, naturally,
Yeah.
without really having to work hard at it. And
Mhm.
if you've been around as long as I have and you haven't burned out yet,
Yeah.
most of the time you have a grounding, you have a presence, you have a way to be therapeutically present that has a wide bandwidth so that
Hmm.
you're not just able to work with a certain small group of people. You actually can meet almost anybody that comes into the room. And when you have clinical mastery, you also know who you don't want to meet. Like it's not in your
Yeah.
ballpark. And and
Yes.
then and then because of your mastery level, you can say, let's say you do a session, you do no harm, you perhaps help them improve, and then you have a conversation along the way about who might be a better fit for them and
Yes.
help them to understand that your skill set, who you are, what you know, all of that is something that can be very helpful in certain populations, but probably not theirs. So their clinical mastery comes in, keeps you from running down streets that are dead ends for you
Yeah.
with your mastery, whatever it is. And I think also the other piece for me has been to figure out who are the people that I speak to most deeply. And
Mm.
and in that
Yeah.
process, I've been able to winnow out the people that I'm not really a good fit for. And then my gifts and talents shine through in the places where I am.
Mm.
And it was really sort of interesting. So I do better with people who are a little further along in their trauma healing process.
Okay. Yeah.
Not I can hold someone who's just figuring out that something traumatic happened,
Yeah.
and I can hold someone who has just had something traumatic happen, like a car accident or something like that. But when long-term trauma has happened,
Mm.
I find that I'm more helpful in helping people who are a little bit further down the road. They've done some work, they
Yeah.
understand the landscape they're in, and I'm often able to really meet them. And they'll say afterwards, gosh, wow, this is perfect because I feel like you're hearing me. You actually have the palpation level to be able to touch the places in my nervous system that were still jangled and ground and calm them. And so it's a kind of an interesting place to be in my life, which is that
Yeah.
I recognize what I know and I also know what I don't know. And I want to give my gifts as far as I can in this moment in what I know and let everybody else that belongs somewhere else go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes that authority in ourselves to be able to verbalize that to someone else and to also, Suzanne, be okay
Yeah.
knowing that we're not here to serve everyone. I think that's the mastery, right? Like there are certain people out there that we are meant to help and to support along their healing journey.
Yep.
And there's others that we're not. And that mastery really comes in owning, just like you said, I like this part of the healing trauma journey of people, and I do best with them. So, really understanding your gifts, your talents, and how you best can serve people.
Yeah.
And like you said, be able to willow out who you want to serve and work with.
Yeah.
So important. So
You
important.
know, and it really is because, and it's only, I set an intent probably 15, 18 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, where I said to spirit, I said, okay, or the universe, or however you
Yeah,
do it,
yeah, yeah,
you could, but I said, here is the practice that I want. These are the people that I know how to serve and I know how to do them well. I
yes,
know my cranial
yeah,
bones. I know the membranes. I know the things can get caught. I know the
yeah,
heart. I know the bones. I know the wisdom areas of the body and how, and
yeah,
we'll be talking more about those in the birth summit. But I set an intent, and it was very simple. I said, please bring me the people that need the gifts that I have and are ready for them right now. And let the people that are not going to be served by what I know and my gifts,
yeah,
let them find someone that is better for them. And I set that intention. I wrote it down. I put it on the wall in my bathroom. I put it everywhere.
yeah.
And it was fascinating that across the course of a year, it's probably longer ago than that. Now that I think about it, it's probably 25 or 30 years ago. I
Mhm.
began to notice that I was no longer getting these people that I would go, oh, why? Why in the world? And
Yeah.
I also began to get boundaries around the people that thought they should be in my practice, but not really. They didn't really, they were not best served by me, and they
Right.
weren't, they were taking my energy. When I'm working with someone that's a good fit, I get
Mhm.
as much energy as the person I'm working with. That's the
Nice.
cool part about being
Yeah.
grounded and being very present. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Equal exchange, right? Back and forth, not too much giving of self in
Yeah.
those sessions. And that's what's so critical. And I think
Yeah.
again, another level of mastery that
Yep.
that everybody can aspire to if you're
Right.
not already there. So, what would you say has helped you along the way in getting to this place?
You know, a simple one is practice. Like the number of different people I've seen and the fact that I teach craniosacral therapy means I see thousands more people than I would see if I was just in my private practice.
Yeah,
And because of that, and I really have to give a shout out to the Upledger Institute because they have supported me in giving my gifts teaching wise
yeah,
and and given me a huge wide bandwidth of people that have taught me what
yeah.
I know and what I don't know, but I've also gotten to see what I know that they needed. So practicing, putting myself out there.
Hmm.
Even when I was worried or anxious, I put myself out there. I got prepared and I went in anyway. The second thing is grounding. Grounding. The practice of grounding and filling is huge for presence. Huge. Because like everything on the earth, when we're connected to the earth and we have that solidity, everything works better. We're clearer inside. We have a steadiness that we don't have if we're not grounded. And I'm not mentally grounding, physically grounding myself on a regular basis. And that's been the basis of healing from the core.
Yeah.
And I think that is the piece that most people, in its simplicity, the mind goes, ah,
Yeah.
that's easy. Oh no, I don't need that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And you need to practice it regularly. So when you need it, it really comes through. So
Yeah.
grounding and filling our inner energy reservoirs, knowing how to work with all the different areas of your inner being, all what I call the wisdom areas of the body, that's huge. And we're actually going to talk about that in the Birth Summit. We're going to talk about the wisdom of the bones. And I
Oh,
think that will be
yeah.
really a fun thing for people to explore because for many of us, we get tripped up when something happens that triggers us emotionally. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. I have to say that grounding piece for me is critical, especially when a session gets a little I don't know the right adjective for it, but like
Wobbly, wobbly.
wobbly. Yeah, that. Yes, I love. Thank you. Thank you for that. And yet I don't know what to do or where to go.
Mhm.
Like it's like what, I have a question that I teach, and whenever I'm like, I'm not sure, I just ask the question, I wonder what needs to happen here.
Right.
And I just put that out into the universe, and then either my client says something or I'll get an intuitive hit.
Mhm.
But before that happens, when the wobbliness has happened, my first instinct is to ground. And like if
Yeah.
I'm sitting on a chair, my butt is more solid. If I'm standing, my feet are anchored into the ground. And that grounding piece is just like boom. And then there's something magical that happens after that, isn't
Yeah.
there?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool, you guys. Grounding is the key. Okay, so Suzanne, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing in the Birth Healing Summit this year.
So, one of the things that I saw as I was teaching across the decades is that really excellent therapists could get tripped up when their own emotional stuff comes into a session.
Mm,
And in the psychotherapeutic realm, we would call that projection and shadow. It's the parts of ourselves that we're really not aware of. Somebody comes into our practice that reminds us of our critical mother, or
yeah,
someone comes into the practice that reminds us of our ex-husband, or whatever, but you
yes.
don't consciously recognize it. And when
Hmm.
that occurs, what happens as a therapist is I start to lose energy because I've gotten triggered.
Yeah.
And the person on my table that's asking lots of questions is actually not being critical. They're anxious. They just need to know more details. But if I interpret it or I project onto them that they're being critical of me, now there's a split in the connection between us that
Mhm.
what I will call the divine split of deep connection that happens with healing. Now it's gone. Now we're in judgment. Now we're struggling. Now so we're going to be looking at how to bring yourself back to center when you find yourself getting triggered. And by the way, we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. And I find it happens less and less now than it used to, just because I've been in practice for 40 years. But I will say it still happens.
Okay.
And when I recognize it, there's certain key pieces. What do I do? And the
Yeah.
wisdom of our bones, our inner sanctum, is the pivotal place to rest back in when that's going on. And we're going to do an actual experiential practice with grounding and filling, and then we'll actually do an experiential exercise of working with someone
Yeah.
on your summit who is struggling with something when they got triggered.
Ah, so did you hear
Yeah.
that, everybody? When you attend the Birth Healing Summit this year, you have an opportunity to work one-on-one with Suzanne. We're going to choose one of the live participants, and Suzanne is going to do a demo with you. And if you don't mind doing it in front of the whole group, and those people that are watching this demo, I guarantee you that you are going to feel some aspect of whatever comes up for that person in yourself, okay? Or you're going to hear Suzanne say something that is going to help support you as well. So while one person gets the incredible talents of Suzanne helping them with a issue, you will also be able to observe and actually heal yourself while you observe this session. It always
If you're
happens
open to it, if you're
if you're
open to
open to it.
it. You have to be open to it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But
And I also want to say I'm kind. I'm gentle. I'm
absolutely.
yes.
Yes, 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 yes. And and we also, I love you teach really setting the intention of like when we're practicing, when we're learning new stuff, like, okay, let's work with the easiest issue, the smallest issue to come up, right? Like, let's not work with the biggest boulder in our
Yeah.
our psyche. Let's work with
No,
the
no
smallest one.
tsunamis, please. No tsunamis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Let's learn
do.
on the little things first and
Yes.
then
And
yeah.
then we can get better and then we can work with the bigger things. But yes, you guys, I am so excited about this year's summit because it's going to be live and interactive. And
Mhm.
all of the presenters are going to be either leading us through a guided visualization, meditation, or actually doing one-on-one sessions with people. So the opportunity for healing is going to be profound.
Mm.
And I really is hopefully going to encourage you to show up live and to be with us in this setting where we're really creating a container of healing for
Mm.
all those that are attending this summit. So, and Suzanne's going to do both, lead us in a guided meditation and do a one-on-one session with someone. So, please join us live so that you can be a part of this and actually either get the healing or witness it live while we are doing it. Now, everything will be recorded. So if you're not able to attend live, you can come back and watch it later, or you might want to get the VIP package so that you can go back and go, what did Suzanne do during that one aspect of that treatment? And you can go back and refer back to it later. So I am super excited about this, Suzanne. Thank you so much for being a part of it. You're going to be Oh, I just can't wait for your session. It's going to be incredible.
Thank
Incredible.
you. You know, I will also say, Lynn, in all my years of teaching during the pandemic online,
Yeah.
what I was surprised by was I had a one student who could never attend live. And
Hmm.
she said, I have to tell you, Suzanne, that I could actually feel in the recording exactly what you were doing, even though I knew that it had happened in the past. I
Yes.
could feel as though it was happening right now. So for those of you that can't attend, get the recording because
Yes.
you will be able to track what I'm doing.
Yep.
Uh, direct transmission happens, and
Yep.
you will be able to feel it if you're open to it and you have the capacity to do that. Yeah,
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's amazing, isn't it? What COVID helped us to understand and expanding
absolutely.
our teaching and our
Yep.
reach.
Yep.
So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
incredible. Yay. All right. Well, thank you, Suzanne, so much for this. So grateful, you guys. Please join us for the Birth Healing Summit this year. It's going to be incredible. And it's so important by signing up for the Birth Healing Summit, you really are saying yes to yourself. You're
Mhm.
saying yes to, I want to be better. I want to heal. I want to show up more powerfully for my clients. I want things to be easier,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So please join us May 2nd and 3rd. And it's going to be the most incredible gathering of souls that are interested in having a wonderful experience of expansion, transformation, and healing. So that's our intention. Suzanne, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
And
you.
yes, always such a pleasure having you on the podcast. All right, everybody, thanks for listening in. We hope to see you on the Birth Healing Summit May 2nd and 3rd. And Suzanne will be working one-on-one with one person and doing a group meditation guided visualization with us as well. It's going to be spectacular. So thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Today's podcast was brought to you by the Institute for Birth Healing. To discover more, visit instituteforbirthhealing.com. To claim $50 off of any online course, use coupon code PODCAST50 at checkout. Till next time, I'm Lynn Schulte, founder of the Institute for Birth Healing.